100 yards, keep right to continue towards Tons Lane, A355. Keep right. In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto the M4 slip road to London Heathrow Airport. In a quarter of a mile, merge onto M4. Continue on M4 for 9 miles.
job to be shown respect for the work he did as Director of Public Prosecution. So I think a lot of the attention to get will turn on what is the Cabinet thinking, what do the people listed to us.
How will Boris Johnson, Lucy, how will he have viewed the words of Sajid Javid sort of, backing up Keir Starmer over his own boss?
Well, I'm sure he will have been infuriated by it. Obviously, Sajid Javid said like yesterday after Rishi Sunak said the evening before, made clear that he wouldn't have made those remarks about Keir Starmer and Jimmy Savile, sort of clearing the water between himself and the Prime Minister. There is this sense now that if the sense of inevitability of Johnson's demise takes up pace and certainty, I think we'll continue to see cabinet ministers, even those previously loyal to him, want to sort of keep their counsel and avoid wearing them too hard behind him.
Your newspaper this morning carrying an article by a Conservative MP since 1997, Nick Gibb, a minister under three prime ministers, very much a Tory stalwart. How damaging is it that Nick Gibb goes, or is it just another brick in the wall?
It's very on my eyebrows, actually, that he has added his name to the growing roster of MPs who have no confidence in Boris Johnson. As you say, he's served three prime ministers. He's a very loyal character. He's not given to rebelling, not given to sounding off in the press. He's not given to criticism of certain leaders. So I think there is a recognition that he is not a usual suspect. He's someone clearly who has got weekend conscience and can't make a very difficult decision. I think actually probably similar with some of the other characters we've seen this week. To Gary Streeter, he's a veteran parliamentarian who's served 3 decades. A quiet man, quite loyal. Peter Albert, again, quite intellectual, not given to big public maneuvers. So I think that will give other colleagues a pause for thought.
Lucy, thank you very much indeed. What a busy time it is to be a political editor, as you are deputy political editor at the Telegraph. That's Lucy Fisher. The final word in this piece that Nick Gibb has written happens to be on page 6 of the Telegraph this morning. He says, listen to this: to restore trust, we need to change the Prime Minister. Full stop. Do you agree with that? 03456060973. After the break, we'll get an update on the meeting between Vladimir Putin and President Xi of China. It took place in Beijing on Friday amid rising tensions with Western leaders over Ukraine, of course. And the Winter Olympics are underway. Should they be there? It sounds absolutely hell. I speak as somebody that went to 2 Olympics, Summer Olympics. So glad not to be a part of that. It looks draconian and horrid. We'll get a report on it later on. News with Lottie Morley, Saturday morning.
The Mirror newspaper says it's seen a photo of Boris Johnson holding a beer at a Downing Street party, apparently in breach of lockdown rules. Social media firms could be forced to remove harmful content before people see it, as part of changes to the online safety bill. There's concern energy companies could be exploiting fluctuations in the UK's electricity supply to make profits. LBC weather, rain for many, a high of 11 degrees.
LBC Travel, I'm Joanne Webb. The M4 is closed in both directions between junctions 8-9 at Maidenhead and 6 at Slough, and that's for the weekend roadworks, so definitely do expect delays throughout today. In Tottenham, Lordship Lanes had to be closed in both directions between the A10 at the Roundway and the High Road, and that's following an accident. In Waltham Abbey, Woodridge and Hill, the A121's closed in both directions, and that's following an accident. And also in North Acton, Victoria Road is partially blocked both ways at Gypsy Corner, and that's following an accident. On the Underground, there are severe delays on the Central Line.
This is LBC.
If someone has COVID-19, they breathe it out in particles. Particles that linger in the air like smoke. But 1 in 3 people who have the virus have no symptoms and could be breathing it onto others without knowing. So when you go out, wear a face covering in enclosed busy spaces to help reduce the amount of COVID-19 particles in the air. Stop COVID-19 hanging around.
Matt is hoping this shower will bring him back to life after an eventful night. You see, he's just bought an energy-efficient boiler from British Gas for just £35 a month, and it could save him £240 a year on his energy bills. So the only thing Matt needs to worry about is...
This is more insurance.
Search British Gas new boiler. Conditions apply. British Gas New Heating Limited is a credit broker, not the lender, and uses a panel of lenders. Representative example. Cash price £1,666. No deposit. Total payable £2,098.20. APR 9.9%. New boiler saving compared to G-rated boiler.
It's closing! A long way clear! Just this final hole to take! Can she do it? The full-timer is on!
In 2 miles, at junction 3, take the A312 exit to Harrow, Hayes.
Hose is actually finished. If your hose doesn't finish for any reason, you get a free bed pack available every day of job season. Coro.
18 plus UK and Ireland online and phone. Plus the first real money single weight each way bet of £1 or €1 plus per race from ATM and select straight stays. Maximum £10 free bet per race. Full T's and C's at call.co.uk. When the fun stops, stop.
This is LBC with Andrew Castle. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
7:19 is the time. Andrew Castle with you, Saturday the 5th of February here on LBC. Tina's in Archway. We're talking Boris again, Tina. Sorry about that, but should he go?
We're sick of him, isn't it? Well, I apologize, but I disagree when you said that maybe perhaps he's a politically very savvy and clever man. That's why he has got a plan, just to say all the talk. No, he's like a chewing gum on the asphalt that you cannot clean up. He's a despicable person. I'm really sorry for using a strong word. He does corruption over here.
What so offended you, Tina? What? I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Does he take us for fools, as Aaron Bell has?
It is a whole array of the things. It is forgive me, speaking to our soul when a lot of people couldn't, see their loved ones. I've been lucky. Well, actually, I had an auntie, but she lives abroad. But people here in this country couldn't say goodbye to their darlings. It's heartbreaking. I listened to LBC and I wept.
Yeah,
it's impossible. It's impossible. And besides that, the economical, the corruption, 38 billion, Andrew, 38 billion.
Are you talking about test and trace?
Everything.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know, Tina. If you're.
In a quarter of a mile, at junction 3, take the A312 exit to Harrow, Hayes.
In the comments, talking about the loss of his grandmother and how he gave the eulogy and only 9 or 10 people in front of him, and then he drove straight back, didn't even have a cup of tea. All of those stories. That's why this is stuck around. Because everybody else was following the rules that were made by that.
Exit at junction 3.
This is the anger. You know when you're at Tina, thank you. You know when you're at a party. You know when you're at a gathering that you shouldn't be at. Yes.
In a quarter of a mile, at Cranford Parkway interchange, take the 4th exit onto the Parkway, A312.
Boris, shush. If you want to keep your job now, it's a bit like over the Owen Patterson thing, wasn't it? It's just let the man serve the month's suspension, and then you won't have to go through a by-election and the complete embarrassment of the whole situation. Don't get your people to get your MPs to vote against the parliamentary standards watchdog or try to influence them. No, it's just wrong. Where's the leadership here? What control of number 10 or the country do you have if you're leading like that? It's just not brilliant. And now we see all these aides leaving. It's just, if somebody left a board at a company in their droves like this, what would you think? It's obvious, isn't it? Manira Murta, Elena Zansky, Jack Doyle, Dan Rosenfield, Martin Rounds, they've all gone. Nick Gibb is the latest, by the way, who served under 3 Prime Ministers to sign a letter to the 22. 0345 6060 973. Tony in Chichester, I will be with you shortly. Newspapers, British Gas, sorry for leaving homes in the cold. Daily Telegraph, don't tell me they were working from home. Energy Junk criticised as customers on insurance scheme face weeks without working boilers. I mean, trying to hold these people to account is impossible. It's too big, British Gas. It's massive. The last time I tried to speak with them, it took roughly an hour. I think I got through to somebody in South Africa in the end, who actually was quite helpful. So customers are saying broken boilers, they face weeks of delays, cancelled call-outs despite paying for the company's home care scheme. Bad PR, British Gas leading on the Daily Telegraph. Daily Mail this morning, health officials in the office just 4 days a month. Working from home, right? Get to work. That's all for the health department.
Exit the roundabout onto the parkway.
That example. Tory peers bombshell says Carey is to blame for number 10 chaos. It's very interesting. It is Lord Ashcroft and it is the Daily Mail, but it's an interesting thing. He's written a book.
Continue on the parkway for 1 mile.
Obviously, Carey Johnson. Sort of the pen farthing and Nowzad, the evacuation of the animals, all of that sort of stuff. The environmental agenda. Are we pointing a finger in the wrong directions just by having a quick look at Carey Johnson? Prime Minister ever more isolated as he attempts to rally the team. Apparently there's a picture of a beer around as well at one of these parties, and that's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, as if more isolated. He's trying to rally the team, it says here. And then there's the Olympic opening ceremony on the front page of The Guardian, the most controversial game since Moscow 1980 kickoff. No joke. Heard it was horrible there. Totally draconian. 21 days in isolation if you test positive. Have a nice time, everyone. Civil war in cabinet, as Prime Minister told to sack Sunak. Who's told him that then? Shouted the Health Secretary following Sunak by saying the Labour leaders deserves the respect for taking on such a big public job and doing well. If my Health Minister at a time of, or just after a pandemic, wherever we are in it, said something like that and criticised me for what I'd said at the dispatch box, I'd be going, can I have a word? I think I might send a WhatsApp. Cops hand a picture of Prime... here it is, Mirror. I've got this. The cops handed a picture of the Prime Minister with lager at 10 party. Why? What I want to know, this is the big scandal. Why is it a Spanish beer? It should be an English beer. How dare you? It's an Estrella Dam. Rooney's Nights with Escort is the Sun newspaper. Oh, not that kind. Chaperone stops him misbehaving. The Sun. I weekend, Boris Johnson isolated as Sunak takes centre stage, and Boris saved my skin and I'll change. There you go. That's the newspapers this Saturday morning. Right, what's going on with China and Russia? They've issued a joint statement. They've got to talk to which other. And they've met many times before. They basically issued a joint statement that was huge. They said no to NATO expansion. Yes to one China, yes to Russia's quest for security guarantees in Europe, and that theirs was a friendship with...
In a quarter of a mile, at Wagoners Roundabout, take the second exit and stay on the parkway, A312.
Exactly what their people wanted them to be. Very, very interesting. We'll get up to speed with that in just a second. Tony and Chichester talking Boris. Hi, Tony.
Good morning, Andrew.
Morning, mate.
Yeah, I thought it was Theresa May that really stuck the knife into him. With the question that she asked him.
Oh, yeah.
Did you not read the question? Did you not understand the question? Or do you think it did not apply to number 10? And you could see that she was really enjoying that.
Yeah. Well, while they're playing politics, people are trying to run their lives and businesses. I think people are sick of it. I mean, we have to talk about this subject because it's so important. What do you think keeps him in the job, Tone?
Exit the roundabout onto the parkway. Continue on A312 for 1 mile.
First had to face question time. He's lost all authority. Everyone's resigning around him. I just don't know how he keeps going. I really don't know. I don't know how he's got the gall to keep going, quite frankly.
We get messages here. Richard, for instance, who's in Knightsbridge, he's a regular. Morning, Richard. Richard says the hysterical criticism of Boris Johnson resembles the Salem witch trials. What do you think? People who think we're sort of focusing too much. Do you think it's the media dripping this, or what is the importance? What is the motivation for this?
I've spoken to people who've said, oh, yeah, it's not important. There's far more important things, which there are. But the problem is, he's lied, and once he's lied, you can't trust him anymore. You can't trust what he says. And this is what I'm saying. He's lost all authority. And you need someone strong at the helm, and there needs to be someone else that's stepped in. The only question is, who?
Well, Dave, there's a guy on Twitter, Dave Medcraft. We say good morning to Dave. Dave says, many say, and I've already said this morning, many say, who are you going to replace Boris with? Well, he says, Dave, that there are 359 of us in the Tory government, and you're telling me none of them are fit to lead, really? Well, I think it's more to do with the fact that Tory MPs are looking around, and they're not sure yet as people...
In a quarter of a mile, turn left onto Heron Way.
What's your first work, as long as it's not a bad one, Tony?
No, see, no, I don't know. That's the problem. And I think a lot of people, they're not sure because they don't know these other politicians that well. They don't know what they're going to be like.
Take the next left onto Heron Way, then turn right onto Space Way.
He was known. Everybody knew what you're going to get with Boris Johnson. With the others, you don't.
I agree. What does it say about Boris Johnson's number 10 Downing Street that his closest aides are leaving? Munira Mirza particularly had a policy, long-standing ally, very, very offended personally by accusations that Sir Keir Starmer, when he was Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, failed to prosecute Savile, and he refused to apologise, and she's gone. You know, what do we glean from that?
That was an awful thing to say. You know, obviously he's trying to distract attention away from him. But irrespective of Chris Starmer, you know...
In 300 yards, turn right onto Duke's Green Avenue.
He's there, and, you know, should he be there now, irrespective of Keir Starmer.
Yeah. Good to speak with you, Tony. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to call this morning. This is LBC. It's early, just approaching 7:30. Of course, we're talking about Boris Johnson.
Turn right onto Duke's Green Avenue, then enter the roundabout.
Of lockdown and our response to COVID that we need to talk about. How many people, how many young people were referred? This is children referred to the NHS for mental health services in 6 months in 2021. 6 months only referred. You know how high the bar is? 400.
Enter the roundabout, then your destination will be on the left. Your destination is on the left.